Thick smog has engulfed North India, including the capital Delhi, making it a nightmare to even breathe. While the Kejriwal government has blamed neighbouring Punjab and Haryana for farm fires, which is a major issue, an RTI now shows that a massive 787 crores earned as environment cess by the AAP government is just lying there, unused. Only a fraction of it, that's 0.001%, has actually been spent on fighting pollution.
A whopping 787 crore earned as environment cess in 2 years by the Arvind Kejriwal government. But only a fraction of it, 93 lakhs, that is 0.001%, spent on fighting pollution. A stunning revelation from a right to information or RTI query from an activist.
मैं कुछ कानूनी सलाह ले रहा हूं वकीलों के द्वारा और मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाने का मेरा मन है कि मैं सरकार के खिलाफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाऊं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो सरकार के लिए आदेश किए थे सरकार उसमें फेल रही। क्यों ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट आदेश करके एक कमेटी बनाए और सरकार से सारा पैसा ले और वो कमेटी दिल्ली में पर्यावरण संबंधी जहां भी पैसा खर्च होना उसके लिए वो पैसा खर्च करे।
A red-faced Delhi government that is still to get its act together to fight the capital's deadly smog crisis has now indicated that the cess would be used to buy 500 electric buses in 1 year. Delhi needs 11,000 buses, but it currently has only 5,500. But with the opposition accusing it of failing to act on environment protection, despite having ample resources, the Kejriwal government today deflected blame to the centre, saying that it wasn't that they didn't have money. They actually don't have space to park.
केंद्र सरकार ने भी हमें कभी ये नहीं कहा कि हम आपको जमीन नहीं देंगे, वो सिर्फ हमको फाइलों में थोड़ा फंसा के अटका के रखते हैं। हमारी समस्या ये है कि हमारे पास बस खड़ी करने के लिए डिपो नहीं है।
The environment cess on trucks passing through the capital was cleared by the Supreme Court in 2015. The money was supposed to be spent on improving public transport and roads in the city.
The Delhi government has continually been blaming Punjab and Haryana for its pollution, and Chief Minister Kejriwal turned to Haryana today to discuss solutions to stubble burning. It took an RTI, however, to make the Delhi government realize that it has 787 crores lying in its coffers to spend on 500 new electric buses. This is Nimisha Jaiswal for NDTV.
Well, as Nimisha was mentioning there, Arvind Kejriwal flying to Chandigarh today to meet the Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar. Neither chief ministers took questions but did speak about things like interstate CNG buses. Well, to talk about this story in more detail now, we have Saurabh Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party joining us here in the studio. Vijay Jolly, leader of the Delhi BJP, here in the studio with us. Gopal Shankar Narayanan, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, who's been fighting this case doggedly in the Supreme Court, trying to see what can be done to bring Delhi's pollution levels down. Ajoy Kumar of the Congress Party is with us, and Sohail Seth also joining us on the program tonight. Saurabh, the question goes to you straight away. I know, I've seen your tweets, I saw your soundbite as well. You're saying we never claimed that we didn't have enough money to fight pollution. The problem is that we just don't have the land for these buses. But today you have said that you're going to order 500 electric buses using this same money. So where will the land come from then?
We are just anticipating that probably central government will give us land. Look, from day one, whether it was related to sprinkling of water, we just needed permission from central government and civil aviation ministry. For buses, we just want land, because land is not with Delhi government, it is with the central government, even in Delhi. It's not just 800 crores lying in this cess. We have thousands of crores lying in our kitty for buying buses. Every year in the budget we allocate thousands of crores for buying these buses, but because of the lack of space we are not able to buy it. Now if we talk about pollution,
so where is the file stuck? Is it stuck
with the LG.
It is with the LG.
Yes,
you're saying
they
it's
have
with the
given
LG.
us, I'll tell you the kind of land they have offered us. They have given us land in Basant Kunj, which is caught in litigation. They have given us land in sector 37 Rohini, sector 32 Rohini, which is also caught in litigation. They have offered us a land at Kakrola Mode, for which there is no access, there is no passage. So this is the kind of land.
But the point is today you have ordered these buses, right? And you're saying you're hoping by some divine intervention.
It is the same case. It is the same case, like we have said that we have parked money for Mohalla clinics. But we don't get even 20 feet by 30 feet land in our own Delhi. Even elected Delhi government cannot get land. The same central government is ready to allocate land in Delhi for toilets on the same Delhi government's roads. Central government says that you can build a toilet. They are ready to build toilet for MCD, but they'll not give us land.
But what will you do?
What
will you do now that you've ordered? You're saying you're going to order these buses.
No, we haven't ordered. Look, we have moved a proposal.
You moved a proposal, but what will you do if that permission for the land doesn't come through in a year?
No, that's a way, you have to pressurize LG. You have to pressurize, like we are answerable to the people. Even the central government is answerable to the people. They cannot simply say that no, we'll not let the government work. You do it howsoever you can do.
And you also tweeted something about the India diverting 56,000 crores.
And if it is an issue, if it is an issue about 780 crores lying in environment cess money, which we haven't used, if this is a big issue, then the central government has 56,700 crores of money for environment, which they have collected throughout India. They didn't use it, and they diverted it for the GST consolidation fund.
This is a story that actually came on Scroll a few days ago. You're referring to that.
Came there. So if this is a crime, not using money is a crime, then not using and diverting it for some other purpose is far bigger crime.
You're talking about this money that you're saying the center then diverted to GST. Vijay Jolly, let's take on what the Aam Aadmi Party government is saying. Firstly, why is the center not giving them this land for the buses, for the transport?
Nidhi, it is a very interesting scenario. The Aam Aadmi Party itself had declared an action plan which was envisaged by its own Ministry of Environment and Forest in Delhi in the month of January 2017, which was declared as the graded response action plan and which was never implemented till the month of October. I wish to ask my honorable friend from the Aam Aadmi Party, did the Lieutenant Governor, did the central government ever stop the Delhi government from ever implementing its own declared action plan from January till October? They have a plea, they have a excuse of entering into arguments after arguments. It is the lack of the political willingness to tackle serious issues. They enter into an argument with the Prime Minister of India on every second issue concerning whether it is land, whether it is transport, whether it is health, whether it is pollution.
But let me just ask you, if the land has to be allotted by the center for these buses, new electric buses or environment friendly buses to be parked, why is the center sitting on it?
I will tell you one thing. They have been in power for the last 3 years. I wish to ask them a counter question. Has they initiated any scheme or plan to add one new bus even during the last 3 years? What to talk about the plan for having bus
But where will they park the buses if they don't have land?
It is their duty to enter into negotiations through the Lieutenant Governor with the central government, and if they are unable to get those negotiations done with the Ministry of Transport, with the DDA, it is their failure.
Are you given a proposal?
Let me clarify two things. I am happy he has talked about the graded response action plan. Let me tell you, graded response action plan was notified by the central government, Modi's government, in 2017 January. And let me give you the background. The Supreme Court heard the case about the pollution. The central government was the party. All the neighboring states were the party. Then the Supreme Court decided that this is an action plan, and the central government said yes, we agreed, and this action plan was a binding not just on Delhi government, it was a binding on UP government, Haryana government, Rajasthan government and government of Delhi as well as central government. Now this graded response plan, while being a binding, because it was a binding on NCR, because the problem belongs to NCR, you are asking all these questions from Delhi government.
I'm going to ask.
Second thing about the land.
Yeah.
We have written 24 letters to LG. We have spoken to LG n number of times about land. This is the main issue of contention between us and the central government.
Is there no other way to spend the 700 crores though? Is it just about buses?
Look, it is when you have an environment cess, you have certain conditions.
What about vacuum cleaners?
Yes, you cannot buy them.
Why?
You have certain conditions and certain things which you can do with this environment cess.
You can't buy vacuum cleaners for the roads.
Second thing about vacuum cleaner, we did do a pilot project for vacuum cleaners. It did not get through. Otherwise, we would have bought it from our fund only. Look, we are not dearth of funds. Whatever we are doing, like sprinkling on cleaning roads.
Okay, so let me just get everyone in for quick first comments on this. Suhail first. Suhail, just seeing this entire sort of, everyone's pointing fingers at each other as far as the pollution is concerned. Arvind Kejriwal, chalo, he met Manohar Lal Khattar today in Chandigarh and was some 50 meters from Amrinder Singh's house, and the three of them couldn't meet together. Suhail, if you can hear me. I don't know if Suhail can hear me. And Ajoy, actually, let me take that question to you. Why couldn't Amrinder Singh meet the two chief ministers together today? What was the big deal in all of them just coming together and having a meeting?
No, because Nidhi, the whole issue is, I think Mr. Kejriwal and everybody else keeps diverting the issue. You know, you correctly said that there were 780 crores. Why couldn't they buy vacuum cleaners? Why can't they buy mechanical cleaning machines? Why can't they buy sprinklers? And look at the action there. See, the whole discussion has gone on to buses, which the 700 crores you need. The failure lies on three fronts, whether it's the Delhi government in the sense 11,000 buses were promised, nothing happened. Mechanical cleaners were promised, nothing happened. 23% of the vehicles have only under pollution control. 70%, above 77% is above the, have not got their pollution certificate renewed. On that, the Delhi government is not doing anything. Then, on the restaurants, the major polluters are restaurants, industrial clusters, on the diesel generators. For sulfur dioxide or nitrous oxide, no action taken. MCD, so look at MCD, Vijay Jolly Saab is happily pointing fingers. The Bharatiya Janata Party's MCD, what do? Nothing on waste burning, nothing on cleaning, nothing on water sprinkling, nothing. And then the government of India is the ultimate. They have not set up the norms of the industrial norms. They have not built the bypass road expressway in 3 years. They have not set up not implemented the norms for the coal plants around Delhi, which is 16 plants. So you look at it like whether it's Mr. Modi or Mr. Kejriwal, all of them, if they stop making politics and start just doing basic work.
You know, there's nothing wrong with what you said, Ajoy Kumar. You've made important points, but I come back to the point. Then, you know, what prevents Amrinder Singh, except politics, from meeting Arvind Kejriwal and Manohar Lal Khattar together today? Why couldn't the three chief ministers have met instead of this whole thing that, Amrinder Singh just threw up his hands and said, I'm not going to meet you and try and find a solution to this stubble burning issue, because what's the point? Come on, the point is that none of us can breathe in North India, for God's sake.
So Nidhi, so this is again, you know, a smoke screen. This is just to divert attention.
Why?
You tell me for 11 months or 2 years or 3 years, none of these guys, whether it's the central government, done any steps. And now the whole discussion is why didn't Amrinder ji meet?
No, I'm giving an example of this. I'm coming to each and every party's role. You're not answering why Amrinder Singh had such an ego issue with meeting the two other chief ministers. I mean, it's just reflective that politics is more important than getting together and finding a solution. That is the point. And Suhail, I think you can hear me now. I know you have to go early. Suhail, just weigh in on that. The point is, everyone's pointing fingers at each other. I also just want to point out to Mr. Jolly, who's sitting next to me, by the way, if you look at the air pollution levels in UP, which is governed by the BJP, Lucknow is at 484. Okay, it's one of, I think it's the highest, it's the most polluted city in India today, Lucknow. So we should talk about what the BJP government in UP is doing. Suhail.
You know, can I tell you, I don't care about the Congress, the BJP, the goddamn Samajwadi. It is an utter mess. The citizen has been emasculated in this particular nonsense. And I will blame only two people. I will blame Arvind Kejriwal and I will blame the Home Ministry in the central government for bringing Delhi to ruin. You know, if Arvind Kejriwal wants to fix appointments with chief ministers on Twitter, he deserves the kind of response he gets. He's a whimpering, snimpering person who makes a crisis out of everything, lets things come to a boil, and then wants to act upon it. Let me tell you, Nidhi, what we are seeing today is the absolute breakdown of governance. We're seeing the absolute collapse of any ethics in politics today. You know, children are suffering. Forget us, it's the little kids who are suffering. You know, Ajoy Kumar talked about the MCD. I've just driven in from Gurgaon to Delhi. The MCD hoodlums are collecting toll tax without being in uniform. It's like a goddamn mafiosi operation. ML Khattar is absent. Arvind Kejriwal is absent. You know, Amrinder Singh has every right to refuse a meeting. You can't ask for meetings on Twitter. I mean, is there some semblance? Do you always take action when the damage has been done? I mean, it is amazing. Rajnath Singh has not commented on this. The Home Ministry is in charge of various departments in the government here, at least in the Delhi government. I'm appalled that under Prime Minister Modi, where he keeps talking about a new India, we are dragging Delhi into the ground, into the mud. Gurgaon is an absolute disaster. I mean, you know, ML Khattar and Arvind Kejriwal and perhaps Amrinder are busy scoring brownie points. In the process, the citizen is being destroyed. And the citizen's health, the citizen's life, his livelihood are all suffering. Well, I don't know where the answer lies.
No,
but
you
this
know,
kind of
you made
nonsense
absolutely
cannot
valid
continue.
points.
We are more concerned about goddamn Padmavati and the film festival.
Yeah, no, and look, you know what you said, that everyone's reacting.
Rather
That's
than
the
serious
problem.
issues like
Everybody
this.
is reacting when we are in the zone of an emergency. Everybody knew this was going to happen, and that's what Gopal Shankar Narayanan, I think, has been arguing all this time, that this is not something you react to at the last minute. But the point is, Gopal, that it's happened now. We are in this emergency, and it requires politicians coming together from across parties. It actually, to me, requires the Prime Minister's urgent intervention. If he can tweet about so many things, he can go abroad at this time and talk about, you know, this great vision of what India is supposed to be. We can't breathe in North India. I think he needs to intervene, don't you?
I absolutely agree. I think it's necessary for him to intervene. I've said this before as well, that if the Prime Minister says something and verbalizes it, a cue can be taken from it. But I just wanted to come back to the question of the money that has been collected. This has been collected as a consequence of Supreme Court's directions in cases which are pending before it. Those funds have been collected, they have been collected by the MCD, they have been transferred to the Delhi government, they're kept in the custody of the Delhi government, and nothing prevented anybody, including the Delhi government, going to the court and saying, look, we're having a land problem with reference to the bus stations where the buses can be parked, so we need this to be resolved. Now, Delhi government, let me tell you, and this is something they're keeping silent about, they have not bothered appearing before the Supreme Court. On day after day, the amicus has been pleading for implementation of the directions of the Supreme Court and asked the Delhi government to respond. They have been absent. On the days they have been there, they have failed to respond on this. Nothing prevented the Delhi government in going there, instead of dragging out this old song that they've been singing for the last 10 years, saying that, I'm sorry, we don't have space for buses.